Deceptions start like this.
Now say, new fact toothpaste helps stop cavities before they start.
What's the name of that toothpaste?
New fact, the toothpaste that helps stop cavities before they start.
Like this. And what if we were to believe a lie to the point that we were convinced that it's true? Then when confronted with that truth, it rattles our minds and our reality, our perceived beliefs, to the point that it's too much for us to handle. Instead of trying to rationalize ourselves or investigate if there is a new truth, we get angry at the person that's delivering that truth to the point that we are just totally blinded to the truth. Deception is the act of causing someone to accept something as true or valid, what is false or invalid. It is a trick or scheme used to get what you want. The word comes from the Latin de, and in it means from, and capire as in to take. It is a misleading falsehood, an untruth, a falsification, misrepresentation, like an illusion or a magic trick or a performance. What if that deception is so great that as a society we are led to do things that individually we would not do? What if that deception has been lasting for generations, to the point where that deception has become truth, and what is true is not true, and that we believe that truth so much it has become the way that we live?
The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. In almost every act of our daily lives, whether in the sphere of politics or business, in our social conduct or our ethical thinking, we are dominated by the relatively small number of persons who understand the mental processes and social patterns of the masses. It is they who pull the wires which control the public mind, who harness old social forces and contrive new ways to bind and guide the world. This
In business, she's pleasant to have around. In public, everybody enjoys her company. In private, that special young man thinks she's perfection. Yes, she's nice to be near because she's smart. She wouldn't think of offending. She relies on Listerine antiseptic for that breathless charm.
He said that she said that he had halitosis. She said that he said it's true of some girls too. He said that she said the answer was simple. Here's what she said to do. Try Listerine, buy Listerine, keep breath fresh and clean with Listerine. Try Listerine, buy Listerine, keep breath fresh and clean with Listerine.
Hi-ho!
Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. It's off to buy we go. We'll do our part with all our heart. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. We all must help you know. We'll win the war with 544. Hi-ho. Look!
There it is.
Propaganda is not only used to deceive the masses, but to enable movements and absorb new recruits. It is to bring in an individual into a mass of like-minded people. It is the purpose of suggestion. It is to give the idea that it's not to deceive, but to articulate that the masses already believe something. It is to make us think that there is something that they're articulating that we already believe. How do they do this? They use repetition. For example, in Nazi Germany, they ordered all the shop owners to put up loudspeakers in front of their stores to broadcast the speeches of Hitler. This was to create a common enemy, the enemy of the Jews. It is also used to create common enemies today, to divide one from another. Another tactic of propaganda to meld the minds of the masses is to appeal to the emotions, to the feelings rather than the thought. It is to speak directly to the heart.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Please stand by. This just came in. Senate fails to pass Born Alive bill. February 25th, 2019 at 6:20 p.m. I'm thinking Eastern Standard Time. By a vote of 53-44, the Senate has failed to pass the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, which would have required doctors to provide medical care to infants born alive after an attempted abortion procedure. I want you to think about this for a moment. Just pause, breathe, think about this bill for a moment. The bill, sponsored by Senator Ben Sasse, Republican of Nebraska, and co-sponsored by 49 of his fellow Republican senators, needed 60 votes to overcome the legislative filibuster. All 6 of the Democratic senators currently running for the 2020 presidential nomination voted against the bill, all 6. Cory Booker, New Jersey; Sherrod Brown, Ohio; Kristen Gillibrand, New York; Camelia Harris, California; Amy Klobuchar, Minnesota; and Elizabeth Warren, Massachusetts, all female, along with the independent Bernie Sanders of Vermont. In other words, the Born Alive bill would have done nothing more than assist that health care providers treat children born alive. Oh, well, you mean health care providers in the past didn't want to treat babies that were born alive?
the next great war comes as we know it must, and the government says it's time for every citizen to go and fight to the death, to fight for our liberty, fight for democracy, fight for freedom and peace. But it's not nation against nation, it's station against station, and where you will die is determined by where you were born. When the next conflict comes as we know it will, and the monarchy says it's time for every Englishman to go and kill or be killed, to die for your country, pro patria mori, to kill with honour and pride. But it's not nation against nation, it's station against station, and where you will die is determined by where you were born. Your station in life is determined by where you were born. Those whose parents have won don't fight on the front lines or die when the fast bullets swarm. They stay in their warm beds, the maimed and the war dead, comprising none of their kind. For it's not nation against nation, it's station against station, and where you will die is determined by where you were born. When it's time to revolt against those who send us to die, it's to you we're opposed, MPs and monarchs and blue bloods and lords and the like. Those with power over us, wealthy and odious, rich, dishonest and cruel. For it's not nation against nation, it's station against station, and where you will die is determined by where you were born.
French President Emmanuel Macron should resign.
Fuck social mobility, give me equality, peace, poets and love. For it's not nation against nation, it's station against station, and where you will die is determined by where you were born.
AK-47, put the cops in piggy heaven.
When the next great war comes as we know it must, and the government says it's time for every citizen to go and fight to the death, to fight for our liberty, fight for democracy.
Gosh, look at all those party goodies. But will I get any? Nope, it's that doggone handy wrap. Handy wrap keeps everything fresh. Darn stuff clings without snarl, handles easier so you can wrap better, tighter. Doesn't cost much either. Goodbye, goodies. You'll stay fresh with handy wrap. Hey, I'll hide it. Oh, what's the use? She'll only buy more. Handy wrap, I hate you.
When the next great war comes as we know it must, and the government